Couple of times lately, I've been hit over the head uh, for saying such. We all know that Trump is guilty. Um, the, Not with the maintenance of that he's innocent and the stupid notion that this is politically motivated, but that criticism gets fundamentally wrong is it applies to us as citizens what really only is supposed to apply to a juror. The juror is supposed to require that the case against the defendant be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. That means to require of the prosecution that it be proved. That's the presumption of innocence. It's the defendant is supposed to be considered innocent legally until proven guilty. Fine. But we citizens aren't in that position. Now, I think that I could serve as an honest juror in a trial of Donald Trump. I could say, okay, the prosecution has to prove its case, or I'll vote. I'll not vote to acquit unless it does prove the case, according to the rules of evidence, and only in terms of what is shown in court and what the law says, et cetera, et cetera. I could do that. I mean, I could serve as an honest juror on every scientific thing I think I know. I'd be willing to say, okay, well, prove it here according to the rules. Otherwise, you lose. But the people coming and criticizing me don't seem to recognize that that's a formality. That's got to do with what has been constructed as being required in our founders' efforts to create a system of justice that would not be abused. But we as citizens are operating in a very different set of responsibilities than what we as jurors would be. We as citizens need to be paying attention to what enough information that we can get basically what's going on. And it's anybody who doesn't recognize from what only a reasonable amount of attention would be required to conclude, yeah, beyond a reasonable doubt, with any effort at all, that Trump is guilty. I mean, I know that as much. I mean, I've studied a lot of things, but there's a whole lot of things I think I know that I don't know as completely as that Trump was committing crimes. Some of the crimes I think actually were visible right in front on our TV screens, and in his words, we can make connections. We can see the picture. And that's what it seems to me. I don't think there's any room for any doubt, but that this ain't politically motivated. In fact, the Attorney General seemed to run away from the obvious necessity to go after the people who had plotted the attempted coup d'etat. But, politically motivated, ridiculous. And anybody who's paying much attention to the mountain of evidence about what Trump did and what all the various things that we know about Trump fit into an obvious picture of criminality and almost incredible consistency in dishonest communication, so that nobody should ever for a moment believe the lies. Nonetheless, when I put these things out there are people who are willing to say that we need to give them a presumption of innocence. No, that's not what we have to do as citizens. When something gets shown to be as obvious as what this is, I mean, we go to the first impeachment, we see a guy who was as much a bigger betrayer of the nation than Benedict Arnold, all the way to the second impeachment, where we see a president trying to pull off a coup d'etat to seize power against the will of the American people. Couldn't be more obvious what kind of a guy we're dealing with. And yet there are people out there who apparently are willing to believe the lies of a guy who has lied over 30,000 times, according to, I think, the Washington Post, during his 4 years as president. Almost extraordinarily devoid of truth value was the total body of Trump's statements to the nation, if true only because he thought that would serve his purposes. Yet they believe him. No, we don't need to presume him innocent. We just need to have a trial. I have every confidence that an extremely excellent job will be done by the prosecution, wherever this takes place, whether it's Fani Willis's team or Jack Smith's team, or what's her name, James in New York, or all these places. There will be an excellent job of proving beyond any reasonable doubt, and even much unreasonable doubt, that Trump is guilty of some of the most serious crimes in American history. He made a strong and destructive effort to overturn our constitutional order. It doesn't get any bigger than that. As citizens, we are obligated to know what we need to know, which is right out in front of us, and to act accordingly to make sure that this fascist would-be dictator, who is willing to commit crimes because he has no respect for the need to use his power in accordance with the oath of office he took, to see to it this in 2024. The American people will keep him far, far from power. This is the business of America in these times. And I'm willing to keep on saying we know that he's guilty until there's no resistance left, or until I get tired of doing it. But there is no question. Donald Trump has been waging an assault on the rule of law in America. And if he wins that battle by being elected president in 2024, the rule of law will be effectively over in American democracy. And that is part of the heart of the whole thing.